Hi, welcome back. I'm Jojo. I'm a designer and an audiophile. In this channel, we talk about the album I love from a design perspective. Today, I want to talk about Sleep Well Beast by The National. The first time I heard about The National was in 2018. Kind of late to the party, I know. My wife and I went to ACL for Sir Paul McCartney, and The National was the band right before Paul. Both of us got hooked by lead singer Matt's poet-like singing right after the band started playing. While we getting lost in the music and enjoy the show, the music just stopped all of a sudden with no sign. While people were confused, Matt just pointed somebody in the crowd and called on the medical team for help. Might be somebody just fainted in the crowd. And the show resumed shortly, and we were impressed by how the band handled these situations like a well-mannered gentleman. And that's the moment when we become a fan. It's not only because of the music, but how much they care about people. Sleep Well Beast is The National's 7th album, released in 2017. I bought it right after I saw them at ACL. And first, I was just drawn by the music and the beautiful visual. Not until I started researching it that I realized it is far from just a beautiful design. And the first clue I got was how Taiwan translated the album title. The evildoers are now in power, it is what it said. On the word, it's actually nothing to do with the English title, but it's actually matching with the meaning underlying. And this is a good example how translation transcends from the original. And today, I'm going to tell you how the designer and the band expressed this idea through an ordinary way. And it is only right that we talk about this album in this disruptive age. Not every good album has a good album design. A lot of the time, designer got hit hard by reality, and they can do real little. But here we're seeing an exception. The National collaborated with a great company, Pentagram, and this compo encrypted their concern for the society and the irony they observed into the aesthetic of design. So the National is active on social issues, politics, and dedicated to charity. On the surface, their lyric a lot of time talk about the struggle in the relationship and the loneliness in the city, and they're painting a cold twilight in the city along the way with their music. And the boiling emotions are a lot of time buried deep in an obscure fashion. In multiple interviews, The National used a quote they used in the lyrics of Walk It Back. They use a quote from former White House advisor Karl Rove said in 2007, which is unconfirmed and will never be confirmed. People like you are still living in what we call a reality-based community. You believe that solutions emerge from your judicious study of discernible reality. That's not the way the world really works anymore. We're an empire now, and when we act, we create our own reality. While you are studying that reality judiciously as you will, we will act again, creating other new realities, which you can study too. And that's how things will sort out. We're history's actors, and you, all of you, will be left to just study what we do. What does this quote mean? It means that government and the politicians, they have the power to twist the reality through propagandas and controversial actions and such to divert people's focus and to manipulate people. In a way, they can create their own parallel reality or cult to do whatever they want. And this echoes Taiwan's translation of the album, The Evildoers Are Now in Power. Matt himself explained the title Sleep Well Beast in interviews. In his own word, he says, the beast is a future generation that one day will awake and will question us on how we let the world become such a place. And when they will not hibernate like us, they will stand up and make things correct. And at this point, you're probably wondering I don't see the relation between this and the album design. What are you even talking about? Like I said, it is encrypted, and I'll decrypt it for you. So on the project showcase page, Pentagram stated that they use corporate identity as an idea to create a full releasing campaign for the album. So they use repeating icons, fully established rules and template to create all the items for the releasing. And they poke fun for the idea of propaganda for the society or cult. And with this, they counter it with their own symbol, but they also stated this album is not a protest album per se. And then in this process, the National and the designer, they basically create a fake company called NTL. And this fake company, they have news channel like commercials, and they printed like propaganda slogans on the side of building and like posters everywhere. So they use their own propaganda, their own symbol to counter the idea of propaganda or cult. It's an ironic way to change propaganda into the aesthetic of their design. And the album in our hands is actually just a fragment of it. It's just a piece of this whole thing. It's not until we sort out the clue that we can puzzle out the full picture and see the message. To me, that's how this design should be seen. And now, let's talk about this beautiful fragment I have in hand. The album cover is a cabin the band bought and built at the album recording studio in Hudson, New York. The lower right is a sticker covered with NTL logo. When we tear open the shrink wrap, it reveals the window underneath, showing the band recording in the studio. A ceremony-like experience indicates the fan wakes up the band, or the beast. It shows that the designer puts thought into how fans interact with the album, elevates album design to more than well-crafted graphic on paper. Pentagram transforms the barn shape into simple geometric shapes. Then they integrate the graphic into different corners of the design. For example, the shape of cutout on the sleeves. This makes pulling out the vinyl that much easier, giving graphic detail function. The version I have here is pure white vinyl, and it's 180 grams too. They also have several different versions, like blue and traditional black. The poster coming with the album is also following the same corporate identity systems. The colors, the font, the graphic details and compositions, everything is like really well crafted and nicely done. Besides the beautiful look Pentagram creates, there's an interesting idea or interesting detail that's probably only visible to graphic designer. It's actually the ink they use on printing. To make all the printing consistent, they choose to use swatch matching ink instead of the traditional CMYK printing method. With a magnifier, I can show you and point out this interesting detail. Normally, a full color print is composed of 4 printing plates printing on top of each other. C as cyan, M as magenta, Y as yellow, K as black. That's why we call it CMYK. When overlaying them, each layer's color mix and creates the full spectrum color we see. Without using the traditional CMYK printing method, what we get is a more limited color spectrum, but it will be more consistent, more crispy. Feeling-wise, it will feel flatter and sharper compared to the traditional printing. Contrasting album design now and the old times, we can really see how technology changed design. Because computer graphic design becomes so fast and printing becomes so cheap and advanced, we can see all kind of different packaging design for vinyl records now. Like here, the records itself is actually just part of a full advertising campaign. And in my opinion, Pentagram and the National is really trying to do something that's beyond next level. Converting their message and vision into the aesthetic of design is really ambitious. As a fan, we can just enjoy the album as it is and without distracted by the hidden message. Or if you're curious like me, you can really dig in and appreciate the album beyond the music. Right now, our world is facing unprecedented suffering. As a designer, I do feel helpless or useless from time to time. But this kind of design really reminds me that art and design are powerful, and we need to reach out to make it powerful. Last thing is the sound. How does the vinyl version compare to the digital? every album actually sounds really different because they're mastering and other factors. So here, the difference I'm saying is only applied to Sleepwell Beats. It's vinyl and digital. So first, the vinyl playback has a lower volume level. If you want to match the volume level, you need to turn up the volume up a little bit. And then second, the digital sounds more bright and has more sparkle. The vinyl of this one sounds more rounded and slower even. Because of this character, you can actually feel more body and weight to the vocal and instruments, but not necessarily more detail. If you want more detail, the digital will sound like more detail because it's brighter and leaner sound. So comparing them together, it's like seeing the same picture, but one is a physical copy and the other one is actually looking at it on the screen. Just choose what suits you. Both of them are great as its own way. And the vinyl of this one does come with a digital download code. So you can have both at the same time and compare it yourself. If you stay with me all the way to this point, you probably realize that the visual of this video is really close to the album design. That's because I try to analyze their corporate identity system based on the info I can grab from the web to make my video part of the cult and to show my appreciation of the album. Also, this is a way to show you guys how this corporate identity system works. It can really mutate to all sorts of faces, and this is how a brand creating a consistent image for themselves. So, what's your sort of Sleepwell Beats? Do you already know the information I revealed to you today? Do you like the album? Let me know in the comment. If you enjoyed the show, please like, subscribe, and click the notification bells. And remember, there are too many wonderful things in too little time. Be curious and courageous. That's how you find wonderful things in life. And we'll see you next time.